Welcome back to the Women in Motion Nutrition Podcast. Today I have with me Meaghan Callahan. She is a badass, did I just curse? Badass mom, a personal trainer, and a mad decent competitive weightlifter. Meaghan, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I think I'm okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're okay
We're fine.
today.
We're doing fine.
We're doing fine. We're going to have a great time together.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. So kind of give you a little intro and tell us just a little bit about you.
Okay, so you hit a lot of I wear a lot of hats. Like you said, I'm a mom. I have a beautiful 9-year-old daughter. She's my best friend. It's so funny. I was just at her school earlier for a Mother's Day tea party, and she wrote that I'm her best friend, which is like top tier. I'm like, yes, I hope forever I'm her best friend. So that is like my number one role. After that, I'm a trainer, nutrition coach, lifestyle coach, and then I'm a competitive Olympic weightlifter. I compete at 77 kilograms in the 77 kilogram weight class, and I'm just like a normal girl who loves all things fitness. I'm a little bit of like I think the best way to describe me would be to a jacked nerd. Like
a jacked nerd. I love
like
that.
Really into the like technicalities, the biomechanics, movement, and the science of nutrition and all that. But like at the same time, like I'm kind of just like a meathead mommy, like a muscle mommy.
I say that too. I'm like I'm just a smart meathead sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll talk about it. But I lift weights like now, but I used to lift a lot more like you, but not in the competitive sense. But I feel the same way about myself. I'm like, I like knowing the science because, and we'll talk about it, there's so much BS in this entire industry.
Totally.
And it really pisses me off. But like I've scanned your like Instagram and just seeing like the things you post about in your story, like I know you're very into like the science behind things and like the whys and like actual real stuff, not like made up things. I don't know why, because it's sell products. That's what it's all about.
100%.
They're making things up to like sell products and programs, which we'll talk about, that like aren't going to give people the results that they want, whether the results are like aesthetic or longevity and health related, like, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're here to like sell realness.
Exactly. And it is. It's like getting down to the nuts and bolts of it. And I think that like there's part of me, and I think that's where the muscle mommy comes in, is like, yes, I like the intellect part of it, but like the experience part of it has also been so much of the learning process. And like the muscle or the being jacked or the being strong is like a result of like actually doing the thing. Right. Like, you know, like the proof is in the pudding. Like, you can be right, or you could be strong, or you could be right and strong.
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's so true. Like, so many people come into fitness, like whether they like see something that they like, or they're being sold something that they like, that they think is going to give them the results that they want, right? And I think that so many women are afraid to do like what you do, what we do, of like lifting weights and lifting heavy, right? And I definitely like want to touch on that, because it's so important that and this is a big part of the podcast, is like, we want to inspire women to like do the things that are going to give them the results that they want and going to give them the life that they want. At the end of the day, it's like, why are we here building muscle and lifting heavy weights? It's like, okay, maybe to look a certain way, but like you just mentioned, it's like, it's so empowering, like on so many levels of like a physical and emotional level of like becoming a better version of yourself through lifting heavy things, which might sound weird to people.
I couldn't agree more. And it also like builds this trust with yourself, right? Like of showing up for yourself. Building strength is not an overnight process. And I think with Instagram and like the fitness industry, the way that it is, we're led to think that like 60-day nutrition plan, 90-day workout plan, whatever it is, what I through my experience, what I've built is over the course of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and showing up every day, and that turned me into somebody that trusts themselves. Like, I know that like whether things are good or bad or indifferent, like I'm going to show up, I'm going to lift the weights. And like, that's where the results come from. And it's just like little by slowly building that. The benefits of strength training, I mean, I could do a whole hour on just that, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Like you said, there's the I look good, I feel good in my body, but that's where it usually starts.
Yes.
Right? That's what gets us through the door and I'd be lying if I said that that's not what got me through the door.
For sure.
That and wanting to get the hell out of my house and away from my kid, like
run away, escape.
Yeah, it was like, what could I do to get out of the house right now? And my workouts were like awful. And I recorded everything. That's one thing about me is like I've never been like afraid to put myself out there.
Same. That's why we're here.
And I have those videos, and like I love that girl, and she's so cute, but she had no idea what she was doing.
I love that.
Yeah, and people like part of me is like, I wish my friends would have told me to stop. I wish somebody would have been like, yeah, it's so cringe. I wish they would have told me to stop, but part of me is happy they didn't, because like that's literally how my business got built. Is people saw me following some random YouTube workout videos at Retro Fitness here in Freeport, and literally having no idea, throwing stuff together, and slowly but surely, like me being who I am and having this thirst to know more and want to be better and do better, like I started finding people who were smarter than me.
Right.
And like, that's not it to demean myself, but I was like, you seem to know what you're doing. Can you show me? And slowly but surely, people started to see me transform and my workouts transform. And then I started to get an education in this stuff. And before you knew it, people were like, can I work with you? And like, this all kind of came to be for me, at least, like very organically through my own.
Yeah.
And I can't stress enough, like the only thing I'm an expert in is my own experience.
For sure.
And like, that's what I think makes a good trainer is like, you could take the certifications, you could get the education, and not to downplay education because it's so important and it's part of what I do, but like, you have to have the experience. You have to be in the gym.
Yeah, for sure. I think you brought up so many good points. And like, I too have so many cringe videos of me like swinging kettlebells, like thinking I like was like doing it. And then I'd be like, I would never post that again. I'm like, we'll just keep that like unarchived or whatever. Maybe not. But I think like, just kind of like doing that and being what you talk about is being vulnerable, right? And being vulnerable is so hard for so many people to do and so many women to do, like just putting yourself out there. And I think for so long for me, that kind of held me back from like even doing something like this or like building my business and building my whole business really. But like, is that vulnerability and that step that you take when you put yourself out there, and also like being vulnerable of like asking people for help of like, how do I do that? Yeah. And how to do that. And that takes so much confidence to like be able to like film a video, put it on the internet, to be able to like go up to someone and ask them how to do something, to like even sometimes to just show up to like these like certifications, right? And do all that. And like I have so many, I talked about in the last podcast episode I recorded, like I did all these certifications and looking back, I'm like, they were great. I learned so much, but like I'm done. Yeah. Like the experience and like actually working with people one-to-one, which is so lost in this industry with like the virtual stuff, like not actually having one-to-one contact and seeing people move, right? And their movement patterns in real life is like completely lost when you just go on to like become an online trainer. But there's the learning and like the growth, even in my dietitian practice, I learned so much just from working with people one-to-one. Yes, I learned from a textbook and research and all of that, but when you are with clients, you see patterns over and over again. And that's how you grow as a trainer, as a professional, as a nutritionist, dietitian. So I think it's like, I just love what you said.
Yeah, and I always say, I don't like to say I'm in the fitness industry. I'm in the people business. Like love really, you can know the education part of it, you can know the science, you can know the biomechanics, you can know the nutrition, but the more you get to work with people, the more you realize that it's so much more than that. They are coming to the table with the fight that they had with their husband that day, the lack of, the test that they stayed up all night studying for. And I like to think of myself as a generalist. Like I think a lot of people in this industry niche down very quickly and are like, I work with the prenatal, postnatal women. I work with menopausal women. I work with 40-year-old, and again, to sell. Yeah. And like, it's always been important. Like I look at myself as a problem solver. So the more problems I can solve, the more diverse people I can work with, the more my knowledge is going to grow. Right. So I think that really it comes down to like learning when you meet somebody, when you're working with them, you have to look at the whole picture. It's so much more than what it says in the textbook, what I learned in the certification. Right.
For sure. And I think like when we look at it like specialties, like it is important to know certain things for like certain clients and certain populations, but at the end of the day, everyone's just a person.
Yeah.
And a really good professional in this industry is going to know how to adapt and then like do research.
Yeah.
Do research.
Exactly.
Ask other people. Go into like
There
a
you
Facebook
go.
group and just like ask. I do it all the time. I'm in so many groups where I'm like, I have a client with X, Y, and Z. What do you generally recommend? And it's just like, we don't need to know everything to help people. We just need to be people.
And building a network of people
Yeah.
who, you know, do specialize in those things. Like if something is beyond my scope as a PT or a nutrition coach, being like, okay, well, I have this chiro, I have this stretch therapist, I have these people that I trust that I might not know this, but I trust that they do.
Right.
And people, I think people trust that more than some, like one of my biggest red flags is anybody who's like, I know everything and I can do everything.
Right, no, for sure.
That
for
is
sure.
run the other way, because like nobody knows everything, you know, and it is important to ask the questions, you know,
I think it's cool. All right, so let's get into this. Tell us about your journey into like how you got where you are today. I know that you were a runner, you did Hyrox, you did powerlifting, now you are a mad decent competitive Olympic weightlifter. So tell us a little bit about that journey, because I definitely have like ebbed and flowed. I was boxing, I was running, now I'm running again. I was a power lifter for a bit. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, so I started, like I said, I started in fitness just like learning different things. And the first sport that I was an athlete as a kid. So the first sport I really got into was powerlifting, and it came about because I got hired at a gym, and after I learned a little bit past the YouTube videos of me in retro fitness, I got a little bit under my belt. I got a certification. I got hired at a gym, and there was this one trainer there who I knew was really good, and I was like, I really want to learn from you, and I actually hired him to do like more educational like sessions with me. And I wanted to learn how to do 1 rep max testing, like how to he had done powerlifting at the time. So he ran me through the tests, the 1 rep max testing, and like I did my deadlift, and I turned out I was like really strong. Like
what was it? Do you remember?
I think I was like, it was like the first time I had ever trap bar deadlift, and I was at like 275 or something like, and I had no idea what I was doing.
I've been lifting for years.
Yeah, and I was not like, you know, like I had not built it, like I built a little bit of muscle having like just gotten into fitness and stuff like that, because we get the newbie gains just from kind of moving. But like I was by no means like training for strength. Like I was doing a lot of cardio. Like I said, I came to the gym because I wanted to look good. So he was like, you know, you're like really strong. And I'm like, am I? Because like I had nothing to compare it to. Like I wasn't like in it like I am now. I wasn't following all these fitness influencers yet. And he wrote me my first powerlifting program, my first 4-week block.
Love.
And you know, I started since that day. Like I don't think I've ever trained 1 without a coach, and 2 without a program. And like, not that everybody needs a coach, but like I say that because like if you're in the gym, trying to build strength specifically, but really with any performance goal, and you're not following some sort of program, even if it's something you get that's pre-made, you know, like it's so important.
Right. I think like people go to the gym, and this is something like we'll talk about too, and we've touched on a little bit of like, oh, I'm trying to strength train, and that's a specific like rep set, like progressive overload scheme that you need to be doing. And I explain that to people like, oh yeah, I do 10 of this and 10 of that. And like, that's okay. You're resistance training. You're not strength training. We'll get to that though. Okay.
And so from there, I did that for a while. And, you know, my training and my nutrition, it's been this learning process. So at the time I was pretty thin. And my coach was like, just eat whatever you want. And I was like, okay. And I started to really like I like not having to worry about my food, because like I've had disordered eating. You know, I wouldn't consider myself somebody who struggles with eating disorder, but I think most women at some 100%. Point, just because of societal pressures, like there's definitely disordered eating patterns and body dysmorphia and all of that. So I like that my aesthetics stopped being the main goal. That was the first thing that I liked about strength training. And as I started to get stronger and not worry about that, and I got very strong because I was eating a lot. And I put on a ton of muscle. I think at one point, and not that at no point was I fat.
Right.
But like I was like 180. Which is like, I'm 5'8", so it's not as tremendous, but like I was a big girl. And, but I was moving a lot of weight, like for somebody who had just started in powerlifting. But at some point, and I only share this because like it is, depending on like what sport you're in or what your goals are, like your body's going to change, right? And like being okay with that. And, so for a while I was okay with it. And then eventually, like I didn't love the way I looked. I wasn't feeling so confident in my body. So I was like, and I had missed the cardio piece. Like I had missed the conditioning because like big in powerlifting is like no cardio.
I know.
Cardio kills your gains.
No one does cardio.
Yeah, which I actually don't think is true.
Right.
I think that like cardio programmed properly can increase your work capacity and be a useful tool. But back then, like I was learning, and that's what everybody who was around me was like, cardio kills your gains. So like I wasn't allowed to do
like no cardio, eat pizza, and drink milk.
Yeah, basically.
That was like when I was powerlifting, it was like cardio. No. Yeah. Go for a walk maybe, and like just eat pizza every single day. Yeah. And I was like, wait.
Eat as much, and that's like a huge thing in strength sports. And not so much the weight, but I think that the like lack of knowledge in nutrition at the time and the types of food I was eating like caused me to be inflamed. You know, like I
weren't
really
recovering. We have to think about like, and you know this, but like just for our audience is like nutrition is more than just like calories. It's also like micronutrients, obviously like the macronutrient distribution that's going to tone down the inflammatory process, let your muscles recover, and like it's more than just calories and just eat.
And at that point, that's what it was. It was like this overconsumption. So I found out about Hyrox. This was like, Hyrox is everywhere now. When I signed up for my first Hyrox,
like today for next month.
People were like, what is that? They were like, what are you doing?
Yeah. What year was this, by the way?
2022. So I started powerlifting in 2020. I did that consistently for 2 years. Then 2022 came, and I had also actually met a girl who was a similar fitness level to me. And at that point, I had been working at the same gym. It's a privately owned gym, and I was surrounded by all men all the time. So like it was nice for me. She
like, oh, girl.
Yeah, there were women around, but they just didn't train at the level that I trained at. And so when I met her, I found out about Hyrox, and I was like, hey, I found out about this race, and it's kind of like strength and running. I'm not a great runner, but you're a good runner. Like maybe we could do this together. So we did our first doubles in 2022, and I had so much fun. But because I wasn't a runner, on one of the runs, I can't remember what it was, like my entire leg like cramped up.
You're just giving me anxiety.
Yeah, like my knee like
PTSD,
locked out.
Like I've had that before. It's terrible.
Locked out because like I just had no idea about gait cycle. Like I had run like on the treadmill, but like had never run like that, and my gait cycle was terrible. I was all in my toes all the time. Right. So after that, we did well, despite. After that, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to run. That's just how my brain works. Right. It's like when I'm not good at something,
I need to go become the best. I can be the best you can be.
But I've developed this. Like I kind of like being bad at things, and that's how this whole journey goes. It's like if I get too good at something, I'm like, this is boring.
I'm like a little the opposite, but like I push myself. I'm like, there are certain things I'm not good at, and I have to go do them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at it, but I don't want to do things I'm not good at because I like being good at things. And it's like, oh, you only grow by doing things you're not good at.
Exactly. And I think I learned that early on. It's like I'm somebody who searches out growth in all aspects of my life. And like that's how my journey from powerlifting to Hyrox, and that's ultimately what took me away from Hyrox. And this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but like there was not enough skill or challenge in it for me. Like it's a great race for what it is, and it gets people moving, but like it lacks the skill level that other sports have, you know, and
where there's like more technicality, like Olympic weightlifting is very technical, and you're someone that like you want to be challenged, like more than just like I'm going to run and beat a clock.
Yeah, or I know I can work hard.
Yeah,
you know, like my favorite workout in the world is the Murph. I do it every year.
I don't. I've never done it.
Oh, you should do it this year with me.
Okay, I was going to say, we're going to do this together this year. Danielle, did you hear that? Are you going to do it too?
Hyrox is the same weekend.
Well, so Hyrox and then Murph.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll do Murph.
Oh, yeah. So my first pro race, I competed with Lizzie Carlson, and I had met her previously. And I'm just a competitive person. So like the second like I see somebody else's score, like it's nothing personal,
right?
But I want to beat you,
right?
Like,
No, I'm the same way. Because I just ran a half marathon, I would find people in front of me, and I'd look at them and be like, I can beat you. And then I would like get ahead of them and I'd pick someone else and be like, I can beat you. Then once I was going to the finish line and my legs were like, I did that for 13 miles. And at the end, I was like, I pushed myself so hard. I'm like, I can't beat anyone right now. I didn't even know if I was moving. I like crushed myself.
A half marathon is as much as I'll run, I think. I don't.
No, I'm not going beyond that.
More, all the power and all the respect to people who run full marathons.
Right.
And again, I say this now, but I probably will.
But one day you're gonna text me and you're gonna be like, "Hi."
I'm doing an ultra.
There's one in the desert.
Yeah.
That like I know a guy who did it, and it was like somewhere in Africa in the desert, and I'm just like, maybe one day when my kids are older.
But like I said before, running is an endeavor for later in life. And when I get there, maybe that's probably what I will do. Is I'll skip the marathon and go right for a 100-miler. But so I did Hyrox and I did my first pro race, and really what it came down to is that like I did well. I just think having that base of strength that I built in powerlifting, even with running, because I did some half marathons to fix my gait to go to my first pro race.
Love it.
And like my second, my goal was to run a sub 2 hour half marathon. I did that the first time, and when I did the pro race, first of all, the girl who beat me, I'm not built for running. Mm-hmm. Like I know this is intentional and like I've put on muscle, but like even at my leanest, like I'm built like a volleyball player.
Also, like the fact that you went to do your 1 rep max and it was 275. Like I have a friend who like we did this partner workout and she like never worked out. I was like, you are so strong. If you do not go and start weightlifting, like tomorrow, you are going to like shortchange your body's ability to do anything. Like I remember that. I don't know. I'm not friends. Like I'm not close with her anymore. But like you're built for something, right? Like I'm strong for my body, but I'm built to be fast. Yeah. That's it.
And sports is self-selecting in that way. It really is. It like you see it in basketball, in team sports, like even as kids, like the kids who are tall and lanky are like their body is they're gonna go to basketball. Yeah. The kids who, are fast are gonna play soccer. Like it happens. And it continues to happen as adults. Cause like, yes, even though I want things that are challenging, we always are gonna go for the path of least resistance, right? So I did the Hyrox race, and I realized that like if I wanted to be competitive, which like I just said, I am very competitive. If I wanted to get better, like I would have to travel. And all these girls, New York was the first race that year, and all these girls that were doing this race, they were traveling across the country the rest of the year to beat their own times. And I was like, I don't like this enough to commit like that. And I actually... First, I was going to do CrossFit because I was like, okay, CrossFit has more of the skill that I wanted to. And the only thing that I did not know at the time, I was completely self-taught in the Olympic lifts, which is the snatch and the clean and jerk. And it was terrible. Again, I have videos of all of this. And my
play the role.
The first snatches, they're on my Instagram. If you go into my highlights under snatch, they're there. And like I think that I was like, I want to do CrossFit. I told my coach at the time, he was like, okay, you're not going to be competitive for a while and you got to learn but I'll do it with you. And I said, okay. And I started to learn the Olympic lifts and I just like fell in love because it had everything that I wanted. It had like, after a heavy snatch, I feel like sometimes I just ran a marathon, like the indoor boss. Yeah. And there's really nothing more badass than throwing a barbell over your head. I mean, I also feel like nothing screams well-adjusted adult like throwing a barbell over your head.
I like to throw kettlebells. I do kettlebell snatches. I can't do barbell snatches anymore. Maybe one day with you.
I'll teach you. Yeah.
You'll teach me
Well,
with this shoulder.
Yeah.
And this trap.
Yeah, you could do it. If you can do a kettlebell, if you can go overhead.
I love ripping a kettle. It's just like there's something about it, just ripping a weight off the floor and throwing it over your head.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman. It's just like
and
incredible.
It's such a, like, the Olympic weightlifting for me, it had the strength component, right? Like, because you can't not be strong to do this sport. It's a strength sport, but it also requires, like, where the running and the Hyrox, I feel like a lot of times I disassociate. It's a way for me to disassociate and leave my body. Like, that's why I'm a workhorse. That's why I could do, like, when I do the Murph, I'm in the pain cave. Like, I'm not in my body.
Right.
Right? Like, I go into a totally different space. I'm not here, and, like, I can just black out and go. You can't do that in Olympic weightlifting. You have to be so entirely present in the movement and committed, and you can't bring your history, you can't bring the last lift into it. It's not, you can't muscle a snatch. You know, like, it's about, and there was a feminine quality to it that I really liked. I mean, probably my male counterparts will not appreciate me saying that, but, like, for me, it, like, felt graceful. You know, where, like, powerlifting was, like, and I think it's funny because, like, identity, we were talking a little bit before, like, identity or questions about identity are always so difficult for me.
Right.
Because when I first started in this industry, especially because powerlifting was, like, my entry in, and I was like, it's this brute force, it's this raw strength, and I was like this kind of rough around the edges, go hard or go home type person. Like, I try to fit into that mold, and it suffocated me, honestly.
Right. Like, it wasn't you.
Yeah. There's this quote by Walt Whitman that I love, and it's like, he says, "I'm large, I contain multitudes." And, like, we talk about taking up space.
Right.
And for me, that's what that means. It's not, like, necessarily being loud or, like, you know, in some cases, yes, like, it's being loud and strong and standing and taking up physical space. But, like, more than that, it's like holding this holding space for the different identities, the feminine part of me, the strength sports part of me, the person who's into the science, the intellect, the spiritual person, the mom, all those things come into one. And I felt like Olympic weightlifting kind of allowed that for me.
Right.
It allowed me to be more multidimensional than, like, having to be like, okay, I'm the runner and I'm always run. Like, it was something that was like, it just had a little bit of everything. And that's where I was at that point. So yeah, I love it. I love it.
I think it's so interesting because, like, I think this is, like, for me too, it's like, we kind of just, like, take on these identities, and, like, people do this, like, and this was, like, when CrossFit was, like, much bigger and, like, really, like, CrossFit, I think it was what, I want to say like 2012, 2013, it was like CrossFit time. Like, people's identity became, like, it's like, you know, CrossFitter because all they do is talk about that they do CrossFit, right? And it's like all these identities that we, like, take on by, like, especially us fitness people, like, what we do. And, like, I just feel like I'm at a point in my life where, like, I was a boxer. I boxed for a while. I've always been strength training, right? And I kind of we're going to break down, like, what is powerlifting, weightlifting, strength training to everyone, because I think people are, like, listening, like, well, what's the difference between these things? And, like, now I'm just athletic. I just work on performance. And right now I'm working on running performance. And that might be me for the next 6 months, year, 2 years. But, like, I do my training specific for what I do. And, like, I'm kind of at this point in my life where, like, I want to take the identity away of, like, my identity is not, like, what I'm doing athletically in the gym, but it also is. Like, but it's not everything. But I used to make it, like, so much about me. But I think it's, like, it is a part of our identity. It is, like you mentioned, like, why is running important to me? Because, like, I feel like you with Olympic weightlifting, like, well, like, I can just, like, I can be more present. Like, I can, like, I'm running, I can challenge myself, but I can be present. Like, even though people might be like, I do it to, like, disassociate. For me, I do it to, like, be more present with my breath because I'm really pushing myself there. Okay, let's get into defining the different sports, right? So we talk about powerlifting. That is squat, deadlift, bench.
Yep.
That's it. It's 3 movements.
3 movements.
Okay. And then Olympic weightlifting, which my only experience with Olympic weightlifting is CrossFit.
Yeah, most people.
Which is the snatch
and the clean and jerk. Yep, that's it. That's 2 movements.
2 movements.
Yes.
That's it. But that's competitive. And then I think there's also, like, there's power lifts, right? Which
Well,
is like
there's
your
power-
cleans. Like, which is like your cleans, your
there are
squat
power,
cleans, lifts.
like that drive power adaptations. Yeah.
Yes.
So like that.
But that's not the sport.
No,
that's not
the
what you're
sport-
competing in. You're not
so-
competing in a squat clean or like a power clean.
No.
right?
So, I mean, you can
In
do
CrossFit.
either variation on the platform.
Okay.
If you want to do a power clean on the platform and do a power clean and jerk, or there are different variations of clean and jerk. You could also do a power snatch, like if you're capable, but most of the time you're going to get the most weight if you do a full snatch or a full clean.
Right.
And in both sports that you perform on a platform, it's a solo sport, right? I mean, I train with a team. Shout out Queen's Barbell.
Hell yeah.
I love them. So you compete, you wear a singlet.
Love.
I'm still trying to make the singlet sexy.
I don't.
But it's very much giving captain of the high school.
Yes, it totally is. It's like a wrestling.
team. Yeah,
Just
like
go Google an Olympic weightlifting
I'm not there
singlet.
yet. I've bought like 5. I don't need 5, but I'm really
Some fashion designer needs to like come up.
So you wear a singlet. You perform. You get 3 attempts. Usually, you get people take an opener, which is kind of a safe attempt that you'll make, and then you push it on the next 2, and you're trying to get as much weight as you possibly can.
Right.
In powerlifting, you go squat, bench, dead. In weightlifting, you go snatch and then clean and jerk.
Right.
And the saying in weightlifting is you snatch what you can, you clean and jerk what you have to.
Right. And I think, and just translating it into like people, right? Like people, what we're like, but also like training and like training on stage. A big thing I'm trying to work on with my clients that I've been working with for a while and have really built good strength is like, kind of like what you did, like I built all this strength and now I'm moving into like power, right? And moving into power, and power is so important for so many reasons, right? Like we need power.
Yeah.
We need power in our
plyometrics, all that. So I mean, a low level for my clients, almost all of them I have do some sort of low level plyometrics.
Yeah.
Jumping rope, and that's all in the same family. It's like generating that power, the ability to absorb and transfer force.
Exactly. So define what is power, right?
I mean, essentially, there are different, again, just like any adaptation, there are different ways to drive towards that, but and power cleans are a great one.
Love.
Yeah, I mean, and yes, the Olympic weightlifting lifts, the clean and jerk and the snatch are very technical, but in order to get the adaptation you need, you don't need a perfect power clean. That's why people do it in CrossFit. I coach one CrossFit class a week. I tell them all the time, I said, this is no longer a CrossFit class, this is a weightlifting class. But it's their programming day where they do weightlifting. And listen, most of them do a really bad job.
Yeah. Because it's so technical and it's not what most people are used to. When people think I'm going to weight lift, right? It's strength training, it's squats, it's lunges, it's presses, it's bicep curls. And you need that foundation to go into doing these power lifts, right? And these power movements. And I think a lot of people walk into, and this was big when CrossFit got big. Like, you would just have people walking in and dislocating their shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, well, that comes with ego, right?
I'm why are we giving them a barbell?
No, and I agree. But if you don't have perfect form and you keep the weight moderate, chances of you getting hurt are slim.
Yeah.
So it's only when people try to load the barbell when they don't have the technique. But either way, even with bad technique, I guess the point that I'm getting at is that you will develop power.
Yes.
If you are cleaning the barbell poorly, and I've seen it, you can see if you because obviously our algorithms are catered to us. So I get a lot of college athletes and other professional athletes who are in the weight room doing power cleans, super heavy power cleans, horribly.
And you're terrified.
And I'm oh my God, but also you're in awe because you're there's no way that they're not developing power there. Right. The adaptation doesn't require, and really after 2 or 3 sessions, the power clean, at least a hang power clean, it's pretty easy to get for most people, unless you have mobility issues. Like the technique of that particular movement is not that hard. And there are other ways. Like I said, plyometrics are a great way to develop power. Kettlebell swings, kettlebells.
I find like so many. I am working with a few of my clients to really get them to like do like working on barbell cleans. I'm like, we are progressing today.
Yeah.
Queen, you have mastered the kettlebell clean. But most people like, you can do it with cleans. You can do it with dumbbell cleans. Like if barbells are, because this is intimidating stuff. Like I know for me, even if I were to walk into your gym and do like I would be so intimidated.
It is very intimidating.
And I used to do this stuff so often. I mean, the big reason why I stopped, and maybe you'll help me one day, is like I was just so injured. I was so injured. And like you talked about, like my body was just like, and I also had 2 kids. I can't weightlift at that capacity with like my 2 kids, my business. You need a lot of time to recover. I think that's what people miss. And people love working out 5 days a week. You cannot lift like this 5 days a week.
No. And I think that was also one of the draws for me to weightlifting, was that it did require me to slow down across the board. And it did require me to address my nervous system, address all these other things that like I was able to kind of push. Age definitely plays a part in it. I said before.
Like maturing in the gym.
That and just like age.
Yeah, because it slows you down.
Yeah, like I'm 34. I said before, I'm a dinosaur.
You're not. I'm older than you.
No, in weightlifting years.
Yes,
this is definitely a young person's sport. But with that being said, I do a lot now to recover, especially the better I get at it. Cause like I make a joke that I'm a mad decent, and I'm not great, but like I'm touching qualifying for nationals. I'm actually competing tomorrow morning.
Also, like really just like talk yourself up. Don't.
Well, it's funny because like compared to and people will message me all the time, like, you're so strong. And then like the people that I follow are so like the people who are in the Olympics and Olivia Reeves and Matty Rogers, I look at them and they're like light years. And these are outliers. I know that they're outliers. And I do know that I'm strong, but strong is so relative. And that's why I love it, is like, I could always be stronger. If I want to put the time and the effort into it, I can be stronger. Yeah, and that's how
it's the right phase of life.
And that's when people are like, "You're so strong. I could never do that." I'm like, you could. There's just, the only difference is like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 reps between you and I. Like and I'd be amiss to say that genetics don't play a part. Like
for sure.
Both of my parents are very fit. My mother was a bodybuilder, a personal trainer, a yoga instructor, a CrossFitter. My dad I'm built like Big Rick. Yeah. Like traps, lats, like love. Yeah. So genetics, I heard somebody say like genetics put the bullet in the trainer, and my training pulled the trigger. Right, for sure. And so like, yes, I'm probably genetically at a genetic advantage for strength sports, but like I just practice a lot, and I'm consistent. For sure. My Instagram, like that's what people, my parents are always like, can you stop posting yourself every day training the same movements? And it's like, no, and it's not even for accountability or like so people see me, but like it sends this message of consistency. Like the past 6 years, every day that I train, I post what I did. And it's the same thing that I've been doing now for the past 3 years. I only train a few movements. But like it shows people that like that type of consistency yields results. Right. And I think it's so important too, because like so many people think like, okay, well, I've been doing this for 3 months. I'm like, babe, she's been doing this for 6 years? And fitness, like I've been lifting weights since I was 23 when I first learned, and I'm 38. So like it's time, it's consistency. And I think a big thing with women is like, we're afraid of like lifting big and like being big and taking up space. And I think it's so much more than the physical being bulky. I think it's more of like, just as women, we've kind of been put into this place that like we should be small and quiet. And I'm like, oh, we're not small and quiet. But also sometimes being small and quiet, like that, I think that for me was such a big part of the taking up space, is like learning that I could be both. Yeah. Because like I'm such a black and white person that like the pendulum is always swinging all the way in one direction. Yeah. So like when I first started doing this, it was always like I was this loud and like almost like obnoxious, like in your face type person. And then like I went towards running and like I stopped being that, and I was trying to like create a new identity, and it's like I can hold space for both simultaneously.
Yes.
Like I do yoga on like in my room on Sundays. Like I do like Pilates. Like I'm not a Pilates princess, but I like Pilates. I like to stretch. I like to be in my soft girl era, but then I also like to squat really heavy and sometimes pee my pants and scream.
Scream. And people look at you and they're like, what's going on over there? And you're like,
don't you get hit on at the gym? I'm like, no, absolutely not.
I do not. It was so funny. I literally do not.
Never in my life.
Never. And if it has, it's been by like a very old man who's just like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like,
who's completely not on this planet.
I'm listening to Sabrina Carpenter and I'm throwing weights up over my head. Okay, that's just what I'm doing right now. Which is amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about, let's see where we should go. Let's see where we should go with this part.
I'm excited.
Where should we go? Where should we go next?
I'm obsessed with your bicep vein, by the way.
Of this? I'm really good at giving blood.
Yeah, like the meathead in me is like, look at her vascularity.
And my vascularity has always been insane. This is like I'm always, so like really quick before we move on, genetics, right? Like the genetics part, and this is kind of where I wanted to go before talking about women, is like we have to recognize that like genetics plays such a big role in how we're gonna look. Like I've always had this. Yeah. This vein has always been here. People are like, how did you get like that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't do anything specific. Yeah. I just like literally have these veins all over my arms. Like maybe I need to drink a little bit more water, but like I think so much comes down to like genetics. And like, listen, we can work with our genetics, but like I was squatting 230. That was ever my max, which I want to get to your maxes in a second. But that was my max squat, was 230 pounds. And I was squatting a lot and I was squatting heavy and my butt was never going to get big.
I'm with you.
It was never going to get big.
You.
It was never going to get big. My shoulders, I press max maybe like 45, 50, like dumbbell. But like, these are just my shoulders. I do not bicep curl. Yeah. Like I don't, like I do pull-ups, I do chin-ups. But like, I think people need to recognize that there's so much genetics that come into play when it's what you look like. And like, yes, you can do specific training, like the SAID principles, specific adaptations to impose demands. That means the specific training is what that I'm doing is going to give me those results. And it's not necessarily physical, right? Like I'm not going to sprint and then be able to squat 230 pounds. I have to go and squat to do that. And there's also that genetic component of like, I'm not going to trap or deadlift 275 the first time I'm out there. Yeah. So wait, let's get to your numbers. Okay. What are your numbers? Your squat?
My squat is 355.
I love you, but I hate you. Okay, keep going.
Right now, my clean and I have to do math because everything's in
kilograms. I can do it for you.
It's 105, so I think that's.
Oh my God! So I'm going to throw up. You snatch. Wait, I clean and jerk 230 pounds.
Yeah, and then I just recently PR'd my snatch at 87, which I think is 192.
I'm going to throw up.
I know. It's crazy. It is crazy.
You're wild.
I know.
I'm so jealous. But like, I always wanted that, but like, I never, it's just like,
it requires a lot of sacrifice. I told you before, like I love to run. I do. I like running. And like, I can't run.
You can't run 15 miles a week and then squat 350
I just started because like I do want to, I hope my coach doesn't watch this. Like I just started adding like some like VO2 max work after my lifts to see if it helps like my work capacity and training. Like, but the second that I see something like, drop, like I'll nix it. And not because I want to, but because like I think it's important to say that even as like a Gen Pop person, if you have first of all, you can't train for everything at once, you know, and I said running is something we should do later in life. And that's because like building strength between 20 and 35, like your body's primed for that. So I think but you can't improve your sprint time, your 40-yard dash and build your squat at the same time. You have to periodize. And this is why working with somebody, a professional,
100%,
or taking the time and educating yourself. You know, that's the biggest thing is like, is learning that like the truth. Right. Because we live in an age of information. There's no reason nobody should not know these things. Right. Like I should be out of a job.
Right. But at the same time, it's like if we look at athletes, like they're not training pure strength in the middle of the season, like that they're doing that in the off season. You have to periodize your training. You have to think like, what are my goals? And then what are the things that are going to get me to that goal? Yeah. And if your goal is to like lift as heavy as possible, you're not training for a marathon at the same time. Yeah, exactly. And I knew that when I started training for my half marathon, that my strength would go down and like my body just feels better this way.
Yeah. And that's fine. But like this has been a very, the 355 squat, which is crazy. And when I got it, when I PR'd my squat, and I don't PR often.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I PR my Olympic lifts often, and that's because I actually am pretty green in the sport. Mm-hmm. Like, I've only been competing for like a year and a half. I've been doing it with a coach for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So my strength far outruns my technique still. It's starting to catch up a little and we're closing the gap, but I PR a lot. Like every time I have a technique breakthrough, I usually get a PR. That'll stop at some point.
Right. But like also like your training, your recovery, which people just think like my rest days and my foam rolling days, which is like also like your nutrition has to match what you're doing.
Yes.
And I cannot emphasize that to people enough that like you cannot go and build muscle and then also be in this insane calorie deficit and then like doing all these HIIT classes and doing all that. Like you have to like, it's kind of pick and choose where you're going to be. Like you can do a multitude of things, but you're not going to squat 355 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
and do all of that at the same time. So let's kind of shift gears a little bit and kind of talk just for a little bit about like nutrition. Like how is your nutrition playing a role in your performance? How has that changed? Or maybe your kind of like your nutrition philosophy over all these transitions?
Yeah. So like I said, in the beginning, a lot of it's been trial and error. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, it was really like just calories, like getting like when you're trying to build strength, you have to eat and I do think that there's different camps. I don't think that it's as bad as it used to be where people are always under eating. I think a lot of people do, and maybe I'm biased because I'm in the strength sports area. Yeah. That like I do see a lot of people just worrying about calories. So that was like the beginning of it, and then I got it. I've been very lean before I've cut, like especially when I was running. Yeah. But like maintaining strength has always been a goal. So like learning more about macros, keeping my protein high, then. I try to do this with clients also when I do nutrition coaching, it's like you got to crawl before you can run, right? Like it's important. Like calories should be the first rock that's the low hanging fruit. Like you're either getting enough or you're not getting enough.
Right. And that's like so important. Like we need to make sure that we're getting enough. Even if you're like, I need to lose weight and be in a calorie deficit, you need to still be getting enough in the calorie deficit.
Exactly. And learning what that is and like learning how to track those calories and all that stuff. Like that was the first rock that was turned over for me. And I built on that. And so when I work with clients now, like, cause I'll have clients that come to me and are like, I want to eat completely clean. I want to be in a calorie deficit. I want to have high protein, high fiber, this, and that. And I'm like, okay, like let's like just reel it in. Like they're like, I want no artificial ingredients. I'm like, you were eating Doritos a week ago. Yeah. Like let's get your calories. And I take them through the process that I went through. So it was calories first, then I learned about macros. And then I started including fiber in my diet. And now I'm definitely in a space now where I'm more ingredient conscious. Like that's a big part, like the quality of my food. But again, I feel like a lot of people skip the calories, the macros, the micros, and go right to like we're in this like, demonization of like and like, don't get me wrong, like ultra processed foods are terrible for you and your health, but like you have to have your ducks in a row before.
Like there's priorities. And I think there's like, as a dietitian, it's like, I do think it is similar in a way. It really depends on the person coming to me. And sometimes like if people are coming to me, it's because like they could say like, oh, this and that. I'm like, you're coming to me and I'm going to tell you what to do. Like I'm an expert in people. Yeah. I'm an expert in human behavior. Yeah. Like, and I know like what are the easiest, the lowest hanging fruit for you to focus on. And like, I do things like from a behavioral of like, let's just focus on getting 3 balanced meals throughout the day. You're going to like literally everyone that almost 99% of people that come up to me, the first thing you're working on is like, you're eating breakfast with 30 grams of protein. Yeah. Like if you can nail that for 2 weeks, like everything else is going to fall into place. Like things are just going to like fall into place. And that's like meeting people where they are. Like, do they understand the calories and like, are they eating too much protein? And I think it's like, teaching people things in a way that they can digest it is so important because there's so much stuff on the internet.
Agreed. And a lot of it's like fear mongering. And you know, I still have people who are like, carbs are, I eat so many carbs. Like, because on top of being a competitive athlete, like I'm also in the gym working on my feet.
Yeah.
Like I average like 20,000 steps a day, like on top of my training.
Yeah.
You know, at minimum, like my what band tells me all the time, it's always telling me to go to bed earlier. I'm like, I can't. You know, and that's like another thing, sleep and food. Like those are the two things that like easiest to work on, and like the last things if people want to do a supplement or take a shot or whatever, it's just sleep an extra hour and like eat enough protein and fiber, and like you might see a lot of results. You know, and
eat some no, you're good. Like eat some antioxidants, like do all that stuff, but like everyone's like, and this is like, we're going to get to our bit in a little bit, but like everyone's just looking for like this shortcut because the work is hard. Like, and if people are coming to you and I to work with us, like you have to be serious because exercising is hard. Changing your nutrition habits is hard. And it's not just paying us, right? And meeting with us. It's also doing the work on the outside. And there's this like huge like motivation and like support piece of like that we do. Like when you said like, I'm in the people business, it's like you're almost like a little bit of a therapist to people, and like in a way we're not therapists, but like I do coaching and counseling, but like we're not, but like it's so much of like it's breaking down like the science for people and giving them like this is the real information, like this is what you should be following. But it's also like big part of it is like that's the easy part. The hard part is the accountability and keeping people on task.
And I think like what I try to do with most clients, and I think I do pretty successfully, is like create this sense of agency for people where they like, you know, it's one thing for them they come to me for the information and all that, but like in educating them, I also try to help them feel like they are capable of making change in their life. Because I feel like most people who come to a trainer or a dietitian or whoever it is, come to them and they feel listen, they are paying good money to another adult and being like, help me because I have no idea what I'm doing. Like that's a very vulnerable and like helpless 100%. Place to be in. And it's my job is to help you not feel so helpless. Because you're not. Like, yes, it's hard. I don't even like the word hard because like the hardest part about getting fit, about creating a wellness routine, about creating a better life for yourself physically and mentally and emotionally is like the start, right? Like, because now all of this stuff that I do on a regular basis, you know, the training, the nutrition, the sleep habits, the wellness habits, the contrast therapy, all these things that I do, like they're just a part of my life. It's like brushing it's not even like something I have to get done. Like it's not a compulsive thing. It's like when I brush my teeth, you know, like if I could choose not to do it, but my life is going to be much worse if I don't. Like my breath is going to stink. Like
I'm going to get a cavity or two. Yeah. And I think it's like, it's the start, and it's the start of like being consistent and trusting the process and being a part of it and doing it consistently, and we're in such an instant gratification world of like, I can get anything I want within hours sent to me at any time. And like, that's not how the human body works. That's not how the body works. That's not how the body adapts. It takes time. And getting to the point where like, I can't live without these things it is hard, but it's also like, it's not once you start to really trust and feel the benefits. And like people trust people like us. And this conversation to help people realize, like you talk about 6 years of consistency is really a part of it. One thing I also wanted to add to what you were just saying was like, you know, empowering people, giving them agency is I open up every single session with my clients of like, before you start talking, I don't say it like that, but like, tell me what went well this week, because we are so prone to being like, this went wrong, that went wrong. One of my clients, the last client before I came here, she started talking. I go, no. I'm going to pause. I'm going to make you pause. And I'm going to say, what did you do well? Because you said last week was well, but this week wasn't. And then you started talking about this week, but let's talk about, because we're so used to like, what did I do wrong? What did I not do well? What am I missing? And like, we lose sight of all the progress that we make when we just hone in on like the negative first, or like the things that didn't work out well. So I think it's like so important to empower, like our job is like empower people and pull out from them of like, what are the things that I'm good at? Let's like hone in on that. And like, okay, there are some things in the bucket that I can pull out and work on this week. But it's just like, what we do is so beautiful of like really holding people's hands and being like, look, you can do it.
Yeah.
You have to pay another adult to know that I could do it.
And it's about being objective.
Yeah.
You know, like you were just saying that, and I'm guilty of this too, is like attaching my value to my performance, whether it is with and I see it all the time with clients, like I messed up this week and they're all hard on themselves, and it's like, okay, but like when this just becomes something that you do and not part of who you are, and to really come full circle back to the identity conversation, it's like, this doesn't determine your value. You're just trying to be a better version of yourself.
Exactly.
Right? Like, so let's like take an objective inventory of like what we're doing here and like see what's working and what's not. Like there's no, like everybody's racing to this invisible finish line that doesn't exist.
Right.
You know, and like I said, that's why I love strength training. It's like, it's always unfinished business.
Sure.
This wellness deal, like I'm not trying to get to some pinnacle, like I meditate over all my life's problem. Like, I just want to feel good living my life. I want to be present in my life.
You're not trying to be Brian Thompson?
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be.
The ultra human?
Yeah, the guy who's living forever. No, like, I just want to enjoy my time while I'm here. I want to be able to play with my kid and, like, feel good in my body. And, you know, like, I happen to be a spiritual person. Like, to me, all this stuff is, like, gratitude in action to, like, for this vessel that I've been given. Like, for my, you know, like, my little meat, this is my little meat suit. I'm just trying to take care of it.
Yes. And be a good person. I'm so like on board with that philosophy. Yeah. Like I've been through so much in my life of like, fitness is like a big thing that's like a huge part of my life, and like how I like almost like save myself every day. Yeah. And like, I just want to give that back to other people because I know how valuable of like I talk about this a lot, just like having a terrible relationship with food, destroying my body for years, and like now healing from all of that and having the ability to like really take care of it is such like something that I maybe really shouldn't have had because I really broke my body for so long. And it's just like, I just want to give it back to the world. Like, I just want to give back kindness and good
and being
to other people.
Service. I mean, like that's the ultimate goal. And like, that's why I love what I do is being able to help others, help themselves. You know, like it's not like I walk shoulder to shoulder with, like I said, I practice all this stuff. I'm not an expert. I'm an expert in my own experience. Yeah. And that's it. Like, and I share that experience with my clients. I share the little bit of knowledge I have, and I help them draw their own conclusions and create their own lifestyles. And it looks different for everyone. And I don't expect anyone to train. Like, first of all, most of my clients don't want to compete.
No.
Like, you know, like, so you're not going to train like me or look like me or eat like me or any of that stuff. But the same when you take a principles-based approach to nutrition and training, like the same principles apply. Yeah, you know, just different goals, and we're going to cater it to that. So, you know, it creates a connection to the client where it's like, oh, you know what this feels like. Yeah, you know, and I think people need that. Like you mentioned before, the birth of the online trainer who's never been in person with somebody. It's like, I can't imagine. I have a hard time doing the opposite because like I thrive off of that personal connection with somebody and seeing how you move and, you know, seeing how you struggle in these movements or hearing the inflection in your voice during our conversation or whatever it is, because those are the cues to tell me like, is this working or is this working for you or against you right now? For sure. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, let's transition to our last bit. Okay. By the way, I have like 5 minutes.
Okay, let's.
Because then we have to wrap. Because then we have to wrap up and I have to go get my kid.
Okay,
No, we're good. We're good. We're gonna go into the last. We're gonna go into the last.
I know. I'm a yapper. You're
Me
a yapper.
We're yappers, and I know. Like my last one was like an hour and 20 something minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, can't do that again. Which is fine. All right, let's go into our last little bit. We're going to talk about toxic trends that we really. I don't want to use that word, but toxic trends that like really like piss us off, okay? In like the fitness, wellness, nutrition industry.
Okay, am I going first?
Yeah, you're going first.
Anything, and I've seen this a lot lately that like talks about weight and specific numbers, like especially women's weight. Like I compete in a weight class, so I have to be. And when I tell people that I weigh 170 pounds, they're like, no way. And it's like there's all these Instagram trends right now where it's like act your weight or whatever it is, or like, you know. Again, I'm in the corner of the internet where we use kilograms, where they're like 77 kilograms is a friend, you know, and it's, or anybody over this weight, you know, is not a girl. Like it's just attacking a specific scale number, and like it's so outdated. Like one weight can look one way on one girl and another on another girl, and really, if I didn't have to compete at a certain weight, I would never step on the scale.
Right.
It means nothing.
It doesn't, and it's so annoying when people are like, you don't weigh that much, do you? I have to ask weights all the time. Like I take weights, I work with like disordered eating clients, I have to monitor weights and stuff like that. And like there's a value to it in certain places, and other times I'm just like, I take people's weights, especially if they're like weight loss, and I'm just like, I don't like doing this because it does something to a woman's psyche, and I'm just like, this is so silly. And so silly. I'm not going to say anything else about that. Okay. One thing I can't stand, one of my like toxic trends, and this is just like an overall trend, is like, I get we need trends, but like we rank one workout or one style as superior, right? Like right now it's Pilates, and it's just like, I hate to break it to everyone, but the science is not there that Pilates is building bone mineral density and that it's building muscle. It's just not. It's not the stimulus that we need to build muscle. Yeah. And like I had these girls being like, I want to look like you. And that statement bothers me in general. Mm-hmm. But I'm just like, I lift weights, and I've lifted weights for a very long time. I'm 28. I'm 28. Oh my God.
28.
I'm 38. I'm 38. I'm almost 39. And I've been seriously lifting weights since I was 23 years old. And I've been lifting weights before that, but seriously, 23 years old, that's almost 16 years of lifting weights. And it's just like, Pilates is just not the stimulus. A 3 pounds weight, like I love a reformer. I love a reformer. That's not building weights for me. That's not building weights. That's not building muscle. It's just the science isn't there. And I just hate overselling a format that's with promises and results that are not actually science-based and going to give people that. It's just lying to women to make money, and selling the cute sets to like make money and the aesthetic, and it's so annoying.
I agree, and I think that there's just, because we live in this world of Instagram, and the fitness industry really exists on Instagram, right? Like everything's so polarized.
I know.
Like, and it has to be, because that's what grabs people's attention. Yes. But like none of this stuff like exists in a vacuum. Like it doesn't have to be black or white. It doesn't have to be this or that. Like you you can have all of this stuff, and it can all be good for you. Like the second that as somebody who lifts weights, the second I say like Pilates doesn't build strength, everybody's gonna
think you hate Pilates.
I don't hate Pilates.
I do it.
It just doesn't do what you think it does.
Yes.
You know, the same thing with like, you know, if you run like and you want to build VO2 max, like that's a specific adaptation. Like there's no fact checking. There's a low barrier of entry in this industry, and it really, people don't critically think.
Yes, that's it.
That's what it
people
comes
don't
down
critically
to.
think. They read like headlines and trends, and they think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, next, you go.
Okay.
Your turn.
I am not a huge fan of what I eat in a day.
Same.
And I don't think I've ever posted what I've been asked a million times. What I eat in a day. I have clients, like I'll be eating my food and they'll be like, what are you eating? I say, don't worry, because you can't eat this. It's not the same. You know, like I don't care what you eat in a day, because the biodiversity amongst us, like my goals are different, your goals are different, and that is one of my pet peeves.
I also like our lifestyles are different. People's preferences are different, and like what we need is different. And also we're different people. Yeah. And people ask me all the time, why don't you post what you eat in a day? I go, girl, you're gonna be like, you're a dietitian. I'm like running around with like a Premier Protein this morning, even though it's like not my favorite. It's just my life, because I have 2 kids and I prefer real food.
And
that's
priorities. Like, listen, I'm a big shake person. Like, is it my ideal source of protein? No, but like I'm on the go and I live in my car, my mobile office. Like sometimes I drink a shake, sometimes I also don't post it because sometimes I eat a rotisserie chicken in my car with my hands.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes it's wild.
I need my protein, you know, like I need to get it in.
Right. I think my next one is this this obsession, and I am a thin girl, and I'm actually very lean right now because I'm running a lot and just like where I am. So I hate saying this, and like in the body I'm in, which I'm very confident in, but like this just obsession with being really tiny.
Yeah.
Like the obsession with like extreme thinness and like fitness, it kind of plays into the Pilates too, because like the Pilates body, and like there's these like Pilates influencers who are like, I used to lift weights and look at my body now. And I'm like, you have all the muscularity that you have because you used to lift weights. Like you're not super muscular from that. Oh my God, I'm going back to the last one, but it's also like Hollywood's obsession with being thin. And
I don't get it. Like it's just like not so far from who I am. Like I am like, I flex in the mirror. Don't catch me walking past the mirror. Like I'm
gonna check my ass out. I'm gonna
be
my little
jacked.
bicep. Yes.
I love my biceps. Like I'm convinced that everybody's only friends with me because I have huge biceps.
Love.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. Like and again, I think that Instagram, there are, as much as that is a toxic trend, there is also a counterculture of women who are like, get jacked, get strong, and men who are like, I just posted something a couple weeks ago about like rage baiting men on the internet by lifting more than them. And
love
like
it.
the amount of men that commented supporting me, like hell yeah, like that. And I try to only consume that. Like I can't even imagine why. Like I can't even imagine why you would want to shrink yourself into nothing. And it doesn't look like health to me.
Girl, I have a whole nother podcast to record with you on that.
It doesn't look healthy.
No, there's a lot. There's so much I could talk about. It's really about the objectification theory, which I've talked about before on my old podcast, but I'm going to bring it back in this podcast. And it's just like, just a lot about like literally sexual objectification and like what men want, like and not necessarily all men, but just like women being tiny and quiet and small. But that's a totally different conversation. I really think the whole Pilates movement is fueled by men, but that's okay. I think it's really fueled by men. I mean, Victoria's Secret Pink was all fueled by men, but I can go on and I don't have enough time for that.
We can go down
another rabbit hole.
I'm a fan of rabbit holes.
Me too. Anyway, Meaghan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate it. I think this talk was so important of like really helping women understand and just people understand of like, what does it really take to like be successful in the gym and like whatever your success is. And I think a big key takeaway is like, you just got to be patient and consistent. And I think most people are just not patient and 100%, consistent. Yeah. So can you tell people where we can find you, how to work with you, where you're at?
You can find me on Instagram at Mother of Molly. One word.
One word.
And you can shoot me a DM. I have some intake forms on there for nutrition coaching and for my personal training. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. High fives. We did it.
We did it.
Yes.